Welcome, everybody. The college football season is here. I'm Joe with the Game House, and today we're going to go over some Week 0 news and notes before the season begins. The college football season is here, but it's sometimes hard to keep up with all of the news going on in the sport with so many different teams and conferences that we're going to go over some of the biggest news and notes going on in college football right now. You know, there's a lot of conference realignment that has happened in the past. This week really hasn't been too much noise other than Stanford and Cal maybe talking to the ACC again, but nothing official. So we'll go over some other things going on in the sport of college football. I'm sure we won't have it all covered because, again, there's just so much to get to, but this is a place where we can go and kind of get to the main storylines of the college football season. So, Michigan self-imposes a 3-game suspension for Jim Harbaugh. This stems from improprieties during recruitment violations, and an NCAA investigation where he lied about possibly buying a hamburger for a recruit, which seems pretty extreme. The matter's still ongoing, but Michigan felt like they suspend Jim Harbaugh for 3 games. It'll save them from going through the process any further. No interim coach had been named at the time of this writing, but Michigan will be fine. They're playing, East Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green, and even they're getting into the conference schedule. I think they'll be fine when it's all said and done without Harbaugh for these games. So they're kind of doing a little slap on the wrist. We give you 3 games, but we keep the NCAA off your back because this is kind of a stupid infraction anyway. So we'll see how they do. Week 1, that's coming up, but that was announced this week. Iowa State starting running back Jarrell Brock leaves the program. He decided to leave this week, was being investigated for gambling. A lot of these Iowa State and Iowa kids are being investigated for gambling. We've seen Kirk Ferentz, Iowa's head coach, say, I don't know why the Iowa schools are the only ones being singled out, but I don't have an answer to that one, but I do know Jarrell Brock leaves the program. Very tough because Matt Campbell had a little bit of a down year at Iowa State last year, and now he's going into this year with the new Big 12, more teams in it, and it's not looking like it's going to go very well either. I know starting quarterback Hunter Deckers is also being investigated as well. So a lot of stuff up in the air with the whole gambling thing in the state of Iowa, and this is just one of the dominoes to fall as Jarrell Brock decides to leave the program. Curtis Rourke is set to start Week 0 for Ohio. He tore his ACL last season, late last season actually, but he's ready to go in Week 0 against San Diego State. He won the MAC Offensive Player of the Year last year. Really big news for them. They're going up in a tough game against San Diego State, who has a very good defense most years. And I think they'll need him to play at his best for Ohio to get the win. Next one up, LSU defensive tackle Mason Smith suspended for their Week 1 game against Florida State. 1 game for improper benefits. He signed, I believe, some autographs with Kayshon Boutte in 2021 before NIL laws were in place. So they're suspending him for something that happened way back when. And I don't really understand that. But he's going to miss the opening game of the season against Florida State. People may remember he got hurt against Florida State last year and then missed the whole season because they played in the first game of the first week of the season last year. And now this was a big game to kind of get back on track and show what he could do. And he'll be out for that game. So we'll have to see if LSU adjusts. They kind of started off shaky last year and then came on strong, won the SEC West, and did some big things. But without Mason Smith, last year they did that. But it would have helped this year to have Mason Smith for a possible playoff run or to win the West again this year. All right, some other news and notes that are a little bit minor in comparison to the other ones. USC hires Washington AD Jen Cohen for the same position. Oregon State names Clemson transfer DJ Uiagalelei as starting quarterback. That's really good for them. Oregon State needed a quarterback. Last year they went to the transfer portal, got a very talented Uiagalelei. We're going to find out, how much of it was on Clemson for not developing him, how much was on him for not, making the right reads when he was quarterback. I'm sure there's somewhere in the middle where that lies, and maybe you can have a good year at Oregon State this year. And then Arizona State names true freshman Jaden Rashada as starting quarterback. He beat Drew Pine, the Notre Dame transfer, out for the job. Arizona State maybe not expected to do too well this year. Let's throw the freshman quarterback in there, very talented, and see what he can do and maybe develop while we have a couple years of maybe not winning going on. Let's see if we can develop into something good for when they might be good in a couple years. CUSA signs new grant of rights deal with ESPN and CBS Sports through 2027, where each school will receive $800,000 annually. Very big news with conference realignment going on. Virginia Tech names Grant Wells their starting quarterback. And then Georgia's running back Branson Robinson is out for the season with a ruptured tendon. They have a deep running back room in Georgia most years, but I think this year it might be a little bit thinner, looking like Kendall Milton will have to maybe carry more of the workload when they usually rotate backs in and out. Branson Robinson was looking maybe to jump into that rotation, so it won't be as deep as most years, but Georgia still has plenty of talent all over that roster. So those are some of the bigger news and notes in college football this week. Let me know if I missed anything down below or any big news that you think is going on in college football that might be official to include next week. Thanks for watching for now. We'll see you guys next time.